This is Rob Badhorn, and if you know me, great. If you don't, I run some very successful businesses, both in real estate, investing, data, and some AI as well. And today I want to help you out if possible. You'll see me live every once in a while. Try to do it daily, but that's a tough schedule to keep up, especially if you're a shiny penny guy like me who's always looking to actually keep coding for some reason. I truly enjoy it. But anyways, who am I? I've been in the industry for about 15 years in investing. Owned a data company that is about actually 10 years old this year. That's pretty spectacular. I flip, wholesale, have a rental portfolio. And in AI, really enjoying how I'm using AI both in my businesses now to help improve it, quite honestly, really drastically. And every day I want to spend about 10 to 15 minutes to go live and really jump in. And if you want to jump in with me, please do. Happy to have guests in the future. You can certainly follow me on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, TikTok, even. And like I said, if you know me, great. If you know me, welcome back. Happy to see you here. And I know I promised sometimes I was going to give some links out, and we'll definitely do that in the future. Hopefully you guys can click on and grab put stuff in the chat. I don't know if I can see chat on here. I'm using a new system. If I can, great. If not, we'll see. All right. Um, so today, I promised to kind of give you an update, and I'm putting this under the Investor Source umbrella in terms of really training about AI. Investorsource.io, you can go there, and I put up a free module on training in AI for business. Happy to have you guys go through that. It's completely free. I'm going to add in more modules as well, and you can get that in investorsource.io. By the end of this episode, you're going to have to walk away with kind of one big idea. One big idea that, in terms of AI, you really need to learn. If you're using AI to code, make agents, or do whatever, this one is called Stop Trusting the Green Check Marks. And a lot of times, AI will give you a response back that has these little check marks like, I checked it, it's all good, don't worry about it. And we're going to give you some 6 dead simple tactics you can apply to your business, your stack, and even your AI workflow before you go to bed tonight. I know it's pretty late on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. But even then, I think you can sneak these in. And because here's what happened in our office this week. Basically, I'm going to go through what we did over the last couple weeks, really almost a couple months of everything that has happened. And again, trying to keep this to about 15 minutes, but it's going to be fruitful, I promise. And if you're just getting into AI, like I said, feel free to ask questions. There is no dumb questions in my arena. This is a brand new technology that really everyone should be using. If you own a business, if you're in a business, if you're an employee at a business, you should start to be using AI because it will make your life a little bit easier and very helpful if you know how to use it right. And that's really the intention of these 10 to 15 minutes, is to give you some guidance on using AI right in your business and no matter what. Well, here's what happened. Every single tool that we relied on was lying to us. And I'm talking about AI. We had backup scripts reporting, yep, upload's complete. Don't worry about it. Backed up everything. Nothing was nothing was uploaded. We had AI endpoints returning hundreds of information when the data was completely wrong. We had TCP connections marked as established that were just caught mid handshake and not really established. So there's a lot that AI will do great for you, and then there's a lot that AI will honestly lie to you. So you have to put in some guardrails, and it's really the point of this particular 10 to 15 minutes is helping you put in those guardrails. The only reason why we caught any of it is because we built rules to not trust the green check mark. And that's how we came through this painful process of understanding that some of the stuff that was happening just plain lies in terms of AI. And so AI will hallucinate. I don't know if you ever heard those words before. Well, it was hallucinating like crazy for us. And now, before we go into what you can steal here, to absolutely steal, take it. If you have any questions about it, hit me up. Don't worry about it. Happy to help out really anyone during this process. Here's a quick summary of just what we've been working on over the last couple of months. And so what we're juggling in the office right now is we have 9 active products that we're in development on. That includes 3 iOS apps as well. And we're in build on those, and that operation will go across our whole portfolio, all the different websites. And I think in the post and the title and the description, you'll see kind of all the websites that we're under development or working on as well. So those links are there. We have 4 live websites under the umbrella, plus 3 new domains that we spun up literally over the last 2 weeks. We've unified AI automation platforms. We have 1 unified AI automation platform with 10 service AI agents working inside of it. In terms of data of what we host and have, we have over 700 million records under management right now. And that includes properties, people, events that are happening, all in the public domain, all that we've secured, and about 1.8 terabytes of data that we're actually modernizing into a lakehouse stack, basically. 37 operator directives locked into durable rule books to help us with these issues of AI lying to us. And we have 13 distinct work streams that we're working on right now that some of them are shipped, some of them are advancing every week. So that's what we're working on. There's a lot. My developers actually are, as the developers are calling it, the viral use of Claude is going through our organization. And I believe that is a 100% great thing that is happening. So we're using AI more and more. It's making us way more productive, way faster. And of course, what I've gone through over the last literally 3 months, we're stealing and I'm deploying in all of my developers. So they don't have the same thing happen to them. So that's the scope. Let me hand you what you can steal now. What can you steal for this week? Let's go. All right, steal number 1. Out of a session we call build 2 server-side modules is now what I call the previous owner rule. And here's the setup. If a tool looks or works on the second try, but not on the first, the bug is almost never in the action itself. It's a shared resource that the AI is using that the previous step didn't release cleanly. So in our case, it was an iOS audio, a text-to-speech player that we're embedding into one of the iOS apps that we have. And on the previous screen, it kept draining and we're going back to the buffer for a few seconds, which basically silently knocked out the recording session completely. Looked fine, no audio flawed, everything says great, but it wasn't working. So here's what you want to do. Basically stop. Don't move on. Walk back through your previous component if you're working on something like this. And in the software and the audio sessions, Redis locks, it all was not working for some reason. So again, same pattern. It's always the previous owner in this case. I know that might be a little bit hard or difficult to understand, but basically the concept here is don't trust if it works once or it works the second time, it's like, oh, it must have been fixed. No, go back and make sure the whole process works from start to end. I reinstall stuff just to make sure that anyone on the other end that's experiencing or not experiencing it, that they're going to have the best experience possible. So that's kind of the takeaway. Still number 2, server backup infrastructure. This was lying to us, as I mentioned to you right now. Go and check your server backups. There's one quote in here I'm going to have at the end that you want to absolutely steal. Our script wrote, hey, update complete. And it even logged, for many months, hey, everything was going fine, or many days, I should say. And this is a new infrastructure we're building. It's not on our current lead fusion structure. It's on a new one that we're actually building out right now and backing up. The other one is completely backed up nightly. It's no issues. So we were having cloud destinations silently rejecting basically the upload, and we didn't know it, even though we got a cron email saying, yep, everything was fine. So one of the models that we've taken is basically backup for the last 5 days and plus a day 14 and plus a day 30. And it makes your backing up a lot easier. And usually you're going to catch an error. And if you have to go back from a complete backup, the last 3 days, last 5 days are plenty in order to be able to do that. And that really cut our backup storage that we needed by a factor of 6, right? So we now need 1/6 of what we needed before. And so in the rule on top, never let any script exit 0 unless you're byte verified your destination. What does that mean? Basically it means that, hey, if you back up, what you want it to do is go back and say, hey, how many bytes do you have? How much data do you have? Is it the same what we have here? Yeah, okay, we're good. Add that tonight. Add verifying if you're not doing that already. And it's really important, especially if you run an agency now or run anything for your customers. It could be absolutely catastrophic if you are not verifying your backups, not just letting your AI agent do it, but actually have verification and really some scripts in place that are hard coded, right? They're deterministic and not letting just an AI agent do it. And that's really the important factor here. And you're going to see that theme really when I talk about a lot of different topics is just don't trust. Trust, verify, right? I think there's a famous president that said that. If you're in an office that's running, MySQL, Maria, Postgres, or anything in your own aging software, we're actually moving to a new lakehouse structure. We're very excited about it. It's going to take us about 3 months to verify, and we're going to run the servers side by side to make sure that we're getting the same exact output that our old service would provide to us. So we're happy to do that. It's going to cut our capacity or our need for space by about 2/3. It's really, really cool. UK Office for National Statistics uses this same lakehouse architecture. Actually, what we did was we asked a lot of different AI suppliers and said, hey, what do you use as your backing, as your system? And so we're going to what the professionals use. I mean, we've always had professional backups and systems, but this will definitely speed up everything that we're doing as well. So we're really excited about it. So again, run audit tracking on your backup. Make sure that you are doing it. Open the source of your backup. Make sure that your tools are running and so forth. Oh wait, sorry, I skipped to the next one. So steal this. Basically, and I think you got rid of the quote. The one thing that I want you to remember about backing up, that if you don't restore your backup at some point, just even on a separate server or whatever, you don't have a backup system. You have hope, and you don't want hope, right? So you can say you're backed up and you back up, but what you want to do is restore to a server and make sure everything's there that you expected to be there. That's the plan. Backing up and saying, whoo, good, I can see the files over there. It's not just a plan. All right, steal number 4. We have a site called National Probate Services, and we've been doing a migration right now, and it's been pretty cool. The nice thing about Claude is that we'll do that migration for you. We can run the website side by side. We can have a test, website versus the actual old one or real one. And run them side by side. What we didn't know is we weren't running any really analytics on it, which was a downfall. And Claude and the team picked it up, basically said, hey, you need to implement all these different analytics. Google, Microsoft, Search Console, LinkedIn has all of their analytics that you can install. So that's what we're doing basically now. So that's steal number 4 for us. And we've gone to basically a CRM system, really a suite of modules in our WordPress. WordPress has gotten good or bad hits. We like it because we can throw up a website really quick. And it's awesome. So on the back end of the WordPress, we use Fluent, Fluent. They have a suite of modules, including CRM, campaigns, emails, and they just added texting as well. And it's a one-time fee. That's it, one-time fee. They do have some reoccurring subscription revenues as well. But we bought in early on, and we got kind of like a life thing, and so it was really cool. So that's what we use if you want to steal that. Steal number 5, and this is a big one in terms of Agentelos. So we have a company called Agentelos.ai, and really the premise behind that Agentellus is to help businesses, small, medium, large. I'm talking to a very large company right now, really helping them out on um, running their business using AI without using a frontier model. And what does that mean? So ChatGPT, Claude, X or Grok, what are some other ones out there? Perplexity, Gemini from Google, Microsoft has Dynamics. Those are all cloud-based AI. So when you upload your customer list into there, it's going into their system. It's stored on their servers. And quite honestly, everybody gets hacked at some point in time. I don't want my customer list stored on their servers and gets hacked. So really the premise behind agentellis.ai is that everything is local. Even the local LLM runs, and it's a big brain one. We're running on some pretty powerful systems, but it's dedicated to your business. And that's really the idea behind this is I don't want my customer list uploaded. I don't want any of my intellectual property uploaded into these big brains and literally stolen, unfortunately. So we're going to keep it local. That's really the idea behind Agentellus. And this week, or really actually over the last month, we've been really looking at memory systems. You're going to hear a lot about agents in memory and AI, and we call them brains, of course. I think that's a good analogy. And what we did was we're starting to do our Agentellus brain rebuild. And what we've done is how do we actually make AI learn from itself, right? And this one has really 4 stages where people are at in terms of implementing AI in brains. Most people are stuck on stage 1. And let me walk you through kind of the ladder of what each brain is. And then you can kind of pick up where you need to tonight and take the next steps, or really over the next week. It's something you got to really think about and how you want to implement in your system if you're building out, a Claude one or whatever. So stage 1, I'll call it the vending machine. Most people use ChatGPT or Claude like a vending machine. You ask, you answer, you get, and you walk away, right? You type it in, hey, can you look at my resume and redo it? It redoes it, and then you walk away. And really, the next session has no memory of what you did before. It has some loose memory. They're definitely getting better. The Frontier models are getting better. Again, you're uploading into Frontier, and they have your stuff, and they learn from your stuff, by the way, too. But every conversation typically is thrown away. You start a new session, you click on the new thing, and you type in, and it doesn't include any of the other sessions. So you get to stage 2, and then you can create some durable directives plus some memory files. So a lot of people call these .md files in Claude and Gemini in ChatGPT. And these are great. They keep directives in your file project. Mine has 37 now. And the reason why it has rules is how we started off this whole podcast live, because AI have those rules. We have 37 of them, like quite, and it's going to take you a while to figure out. And by the time you figure it out, like me, it was months later, figuring out that, wow, okay, this really kind of done me in. All right, but every time AI screws up, I write a rule that says, hey, don't do that again, basically. And we call those durable rules, directives, rules, directives, durables, however you want to call them, and whatever your system kind of accepts for it. Every time I caught myself in a bad pattern, the same thing. Each rule starts out with a failure that's forged from it. In other words, there's a corpse behind that rule. And we keep it durable in memory files for those projects within the server. So we understand that the decisions are made. Hey, we're not going to do this again. And we, of course, review that file as soon as we start a new session. It goes to that file, reads the rules, and says, okay, this is what I have to learn by. Or we have to, here's my guardrails, I think is a better terminology. So 6 months in, your AI knows your business way better because you have those rules, better than most contractors would. And that alone is an unfair advantage. And that's stage 2. Stage 3, we call it the graduation mechanism. Here's where your smart tool goes to earn trust. And there's really 2 industry terms you should know about here, and that is HITL. and it's human in the loop. In other words, a human approves every single output, everything that goes into the rule book, as it were. And then there's HOTL, and that's human on the loop. And that human often intervenes when something looks off. In other words, let's say you have this rule book and you allow the AI to make its own rules to kind of keep its guardrails because you did some human in the loop. Then all of a sudden it starts veering off, and it's like, nope, no, we got to course correct and kind of bring it back. That's human on the loop. That means we're going to intervene when it seems like it's a little off course. And most people sit at HTL and burn out, meaning they're always approving the content. Yep, it's approved, it's approved. And I was doing that with N8N. N8N, we started out, if you don't know what N8N it is, it's like make.com or whatever. And I was using that forever. And that took a lot to do, right? The great thing about N8N is deterministic. And we're making agenttelos.ai deterministic as well, very similar to the way we did in N8N. But you get burned out because you're approving everything. You're sitting there hitting the approve button, and that's great starting out. And everyone should, by the way, because then your system will know you and what you really want to put out there, know your voice as well. But you want eventually that those patterns that are being created, right? And I'll call each one of those approvals in a category a pattern, for the lack of a better word. You have to graduate those, and those go from HITL to HOTL. In other words, the AI says, yep, this is the same pattern, so we're going to auto approve it, right? So concretely, you tag every output with a pattern it belongs to, and when that pattern has been approved consistently, like n times, meaning 5 times, 10 times, it says, okay, follows the same pattern, we're going to approve it, all right? Then there's no corrections. You promote it autonomously, right? And the time goes from approving everything to really spot checking the edge cases. And that's good because now you're not looking at really the meat of what's, in the center, but you're looking at the outside. Should I approve that? Should I not approve that? Because that's what's being kind of raised up to say, hey, I don't know, it doesn't fit any of these rules or in these categories, so I'm going to put the human in a loop now. So that's why you leverage the curve. Now you can get it faster, you can accelerate it, certainly. And then stage 4. Stage 4, we were looking around at a whole bunch of different architectures. Like you, I can't be alone in this whole initiative, right? I always say that really about everything, right? When there's a problem that comes up, I say, I can't be alone. This can't be the first time it's ever happened to me. So I always ask, has this happened to anybody else? What are other people doing, right? And in this case, we did as well. So what we built, we borrowed a little bit, and we added our own make on it as well to make it better. But this is what we built. You can borrow the design if you want. You don't have to engineering or copy tomorrow. We took the Stanford ACE pattern from the 2025 paper and basically cooperating with 3 roles into the brain. A generator, that's the first role, that proposes the next move. A reflector that critiques the move against past outcomes, and then a curator that decides, hey, what gets remembered and then what gets forgotten, right? So we do this, and then we marry that actually with what we call a left brain, and that left brain stores the structured facts in a database. So financial terms, those can't be kind of summarized. You want the actual financial terms for every single quarter, every single month, whatever, especially if it's in your business, let's say like your QuickBooks, right? You want every transaction recorded. Well, you're going to store that in a database, just like QuickBooks does, and say, oh yeah, here's the image of the receipt, here's, everything. So you're going to store that in your left brain, right? And that's super important. And then what we decided was, okay, well, we kind of need a right brain as well. There's some creativity that's going on. Plus, we want to make sure that what are the relationships between some of the left brain data and what we're seeing and some of these patterns that we have, because there's going to be some emergent patterns. Some memory. So every customer that we have an agent tells gets both by default. They get this left brain, they get the agent. So hopefully it's going to come back. So sorry if we lost connection. So every customer gets both as default. It's not a paid add-on. It is the moat. We believe it's one of the most important things for Agent Talos, and really bringing AI agents on board to your business is one of the most important things. So it says lose lost connection. So hopefully we're still coming back here. Let me just do a double check here. Yeah, maybe it is, maybe it's not. Not quite sure. Anyways, I'll keep on going. Hopefully this is going to be recorded. If not, don't worry about it. We'll post the recording if it's for some reason died on us. But anyways, the proof is in theory. We stepped away for 48 hours stretch and came back, and 270 briefs were queried, organized, scored, waiting for my approval, human in the loop, and the system didn't ship anything. Didn't ship anything without me, right? So that's the important thing. It has to learn as well. And it didn't stop without me either, though. That's the important thing. And that's it's an unfair advantage, I would say, when you're running a business, that it's constantly going. How often do you get an employee that's working for you 24/7? Not many. And that's kind of the cool thing about AI agents. They're literally going to work for you 24/7. So not the model, not the prompt. It's an accumulated context plus the graduation mechanism working together. And so that's really what the important thing here is where are you at, right? Are you at stage one where you're just writing your first directive? That's fine. Stage two, you're tagging your outputs, you're kind of seeing patterns. Are you at stage three where you pick your first pattern and you graduate it and say, yep, this is going to be good? Or are you at stage four where you kind of have everything ticking? You have the whole system learning for itself. You still have some human in the loop, but after that, it's going to start to learn your patterns and really take off for you. And of course, there's always monitors, in place to do what we need to do. So the game is compounding, right? And compounding that knowledge is going to be extremely important in the future. Being able to access those financial records that are true within a database, very hard data, is also going to be very important. So having that left brain, that right brain that I talked about is going to be extremely important. And for some of those, if we lost connection for some reason, I'll post the video if it got screwed up. Sorry about that. For some reason, I lost a connection here. All right, steal number 6. Sorry, that was a long one, but I think a really important one. I could probably do one podcast on each one of these alone. The brain, especially, it's super interesting. It is the hot topic in agentic AI right now. Is the brain? But steal number 6. We use RustDesk. We use RustDesk to really remote into a lot of different computers because we have a lot of different computers doing a lot of different stuff, testing a lot, right? Because I want the systems that we deploy for our customers and for us to be on the side of perfect versus imperfect. So we built a launcher, a SaaS launcher for RustDesk. RustDesk recently pushed an update that disabled some of their features. And I'm like, okay, this can't be good. We don't want to pay for the pro model. I'm cheap, I'm sorry, but how can we dig around this? Well, what we found out is RustDesk has some custom URL schemes. So we can kind of do the same thing that they were doing in their pro version without having to pay. And I just built an iOS app for it. Simple. Did it overnight. It was really cool. So before we paid these premium features, we checked underneath the hood, and like I said, 90% of the time, the feature you're paying for is nothing but a thin wrapper over something that's already free. So that's a key insight. I don't think there's going to be many freemium products in the future just because of this, that Claude can pick up on it and literally write you an app for it. All right, so pulling back, here's what we compounded across all of this. Light bulb number 1. I'm a huge Minion fan. So light bulb number 1, write every failure as a permanent rule. Not a Slack post, not a sticky note, but a durable file that gets read every future version of you, your team, and your AI. Failures forgotten often get repeated, right? So again, failures forgotten often get repeated, especially in AI. So failures written down become moats. In other words, defensible strategies for the future for you and to help protect you and become a differentiator for you and your business, moving forward. Light bulb number 2. Established is not authenticated. We almost panicked over an inbound IP establishing into our infrastructure that turned out to be not happening. Well, it was trying, and of course our infrastructure blocked it. But we caught it right at the time when it was trying, and we thought, oh, someone got in. It didn't happen. It didn't ever happen, actually. Knock on wood. Yeah, anyways. So we just happened to catch it in the wrong time, and the AI caught it right midpoint, and it said, "Hey, someone's in, someone's in." Well, trust and verify. We trust and verify. So steal the lesson. Anytime something tells you that it's established and connected, go one layer deeper. Check it out. Light bulb number 3, parallel AI agents are insanely fast, and they will duplicate your work if you don't have kind of guardrails in insight in each of the sessions as well. You need to brief them on the existing state, right? And saying, hey, this is what this one's doing. I actually tell the individual sessions, hey, this guy's working on this. You're going to work on this guy's going to work on this. So each agent is not working on the same thing. And we put guardrails in place. And they even know at some points, like, hey, you told me not to work on that. If I say something, oh, yeah, that's right. That's that session over here. So we almost lost 6 million duplicate roles because of our sub agents. So again, they're insanely fast. They will do stuff faster than you can say no, wait, stop, cancel. It's already done, basically. So always point your AI at your existing state directory before it's too loose or too late, really. Light bulb number 4, verify, don't infer, run the curl, grep the log, count the bytes. Inference is how blind spots survive for years. So, and what that means is make sure you're doing the small things, checking it, verifying it, and so forth. So, some of the challenges and how I overcame them. Honest answer, and I wish someone had told me this before naming. We burned 2 solid hours finding a brand new product we were building, in branding it basically. And let me tell you, 2 hours was a lot in this world. When you're running 13 sessions and 10 different agents, that's a lot of time. And for an individual agent and for myself. But we had 17 candidates, rejected all of them before one showed one clear, trademark clear, app store clear, registrar all clear. And my point is, we waste a lot of time. We should have done all these things at the beginning. And that should have been, hey, check out all these first. And then I'm going to get excited about one that I really like. Turns out the one I really like, someone's already using it. Go figure. But anyways, so trademark we use for marks, trademarks, app store obviously for app collisions, names wise, and then your favorite registrar for domains. Make sure those are all available. And obviously you don't want to compromise on any 3, right? The name dies eventually once you hit it. Shortcut number 2, never edit lock code or production code configure. Now, some of the things, it's really easy when you're working in AI, right? If you're setting up a script, like a Python script to do something every single time and you have it scheduled to do something, right? Well, you set that up, let it do its job. It is so easy to go in and say, hey, AI agent, can you just go take care of this for me? And then what happens is you end up having to do full restores on your system because you really screwed it up. So it cost us a full afternoon to roll back and codify. So my short answer here is don't go around the system. If you have systems already in place that you built, you put in place, don't let AI go in and tweak them for you or go around them, change some data for you. Let the system do what it's supposed to do. Go into that system, modify, do the data change there. Don't let the AI agent do it. It's so easy to do that, trust me. And it's lazy, but it's easy, but it's not the right way. Trust me, it's going to hurt you. Shortcut number 3, and don't wait until you need a backup until yours doesn't work. And again, I mentioned this, restore. Restore is part of your drill. If you don't restore, you don't have a backup. You don't, and all you have is hope of what's going to happen. So, yeah. So why all this matters? Who does all this stuff help now? Look, every single thing I walk through, the operator, the agency owner, the creator, the probate professional, the data team running on hardware, aging hardware, old hardware, the founder tired of paying Rust Pro, or the middleman features you can just build over a weekend. The team that knows their AI tools can be 10 times more valuable if they just compounded the context properly and really learning, having your tools learn. So today you walk away with some tactics. Tonight you can deploy at least 3 of them. Back up, verify if you're doing backups, restore, do that check, right? That it actually works. Yeah, analytics on any audit, right? We run analytics on everything now. Everything leaves the trail, right? And so that way we know exactly what's happened. Otherwise, honestly, your AI guesses at what happened, and 90% of the time it's not right. So any software you build has to have a log trail. Any transaction that you do, anything that you update, has to have a version, because you have to leave these trails. Otherwise, the AI can't go back to see what's wrong. It just kind of assumes what's wrong. So analytics audit is extremely important. In fact, we followed from some very standardized analytics tools now, and Agentellis has it built in. And it has helped us out tremendously understand the whole process of when we software develop for Agentellis. It's actually really cool. Durable directives, that's the kind of the next thing you can kind of take home. If you're not doing durable directives, and you say, God, wow, why does that keep on happening? Just tell it, hey, durable directive, you can't lie to me anymore, right? Everything has to have a source, or some link to what we're talking about, right? So it's extremely important that you create durable directives. So tomorrow, your stack is measurably stronger just because of today's little AI chat. And that's the whole game. Now, quick look ahead coming this week. We're actually running our lakehouse migration right now. It's on real data moving. And like I said, we have over 700 million records and counting. We ingest about 8,000 records per minute. So we got a lot of data hitting us, and so it's really important for us to have the most modern system possible, just from a speed and agility standpoint, as well. So if you're on the fence of going to a modern data tooling, definitely do it. I can absolutely see the benefits now, and we're going to go through a 3-month process on how to do that. We're publishing our first full set of operator directives. So if you're interested in the 37 rules, directives, durables that you can also use, we're happy to give those away to you. Just comment durable in any of the chat boxes, wherever. Happy to send them off to you, at least contact you, get your email address and so forth, and send those off to you. So hopefully your team can use them, or you can use them if you're using the AI codes as well. And the per client backup architecture design doc that we're doing in Agentellis is extremely important as well. So if you need to write up on that, happy to do that as well. And so if you've been meaning to harden your backups, prep your retention policy by Friday, and I say next week, Monday, Tuesday, grab the script that ships today. We're happy to give you any of those documents that you need. So here we are, conclusion and call to action. So one big idea, stop trusting the green check marks. Hopefully you've gotten that concept by now. A lot of things that you have to put in place when you're dealing with AI agents in particular. Otherwise, they will lie to you. I guarantee it. They will lie to you. You have to have it backed up by solid log, audit trails, rules, within your system. If you're not doing it, and it's tough to input in place, let me tell you, took us a long time to figure that out. Once we did, it's been amazing. So 6 tactics. Check the previous owner. We talked about bite, verify your backups, right? We talked about that. Deploy the modern lakehouse architecture. Audit and own your analytics. Climb the 4-stage brain ladder. I would say that's probably the most coolest one, geeky one. I'm a geek. I love that stuff. Having that 4-stage brain ladder is extremely important. Having at the point where you get your architecture to really learning. Build the launcher and skip the SaaS, right? You can kind of build your own stuff now, which is really cool, or at least add on to the existing stuff that's already out there. Pick one before you close today. Do it tonight, and tell me how you did. Tell me which one you stole in the comments, right? Tell me which one that you really helped you out during this whole process. And I'm happy to have you on in a month or so to say, hey, Rob, this is what we did. Really helped out. Great. Or, hey, this is what else we learned. We want to tell everybody else, that's in your arena here. happy to have you on as well. You can always find me at agenttelos.ai. Investorsource.io has those AI learning modules that you can also do. And you can hit me up, any of our emails that we send out, or hit me in the chat here. Happy to respond. You can always get a hold of me there. So again, a small action today equals a huge compounded moat, right? A defensible architecture in the future by next month. So hopefully this is how it all works for you. I'll catch you later on. Thanks a lot.